Daily Double Pod, back with you here after a really, really exciting weekend of races. We have some stuff to go over. Hope that you enjoyed our episodes last week where we put together a Pick 5 ticket. We previewed the race, which felt like our preview was decent. We'll get into that too. And then we also had the fantastic episode with Jen that just dropped, talking about her winning the 100 grand. And I'm really excited for everybody to check that one out.
Oh yeah, I mean
that one's fun.
Doesn't happen that often.
Yeah,
I mean, you can live 14 times and maybe not win 100,000 in one race.
Yes. No? Yeah, without a doubt. So we want to dive into this this episode specific to the Jim Dandy and a recap of the Jim Dandy. Yeah, right. So last week we took a peek at the field, and I was sort of a little higher on Sandman and Moplex than you were. You were really dialed in. You figured Baeza just second best by a long stretch. You were right. What did you think about the race?
I thought once I saw Baeza on the track, he looked like a different horse from the Belmont. He looked better color, more focused. He wasn't bouncing around in the paddock. He looked like he was ready. He's not a real big horse compared to Synchronicity. I mean, to Sovereignty.
That's a sick name for a horse.
But to Sovereignty. But you know what? I felt he would run good. And remember, the pack kind of came together.
Yeah.
But when they got to the wire, those horses were 7-8 lengths ahead. So they were major ahead and whatnot. He tried to fight him, but Sovereignty right at the end did what he always does. And that's 1.8 miles pulled away. You know, go 1.25 miles in the Travers, he'll pull away again. You know, what do you think?
So I'm glad that we didn't record the podcast right away after the race, because my knee-jerk reaction after the race was like, oh, Sovereignty didn't look his dominant self. And I was a little like, wait, what's going on here? I was a little worried. I'll be honest. I mean, we talked a little bit. I was worried.
You thought he looked a little nervous.
I just thought he didn't run his usual bang-up race. He didn't run his usual the race that your jaw drops and you're like, geez, this is the best horse in the country. I thought he ran well, but I didn't get like a Belmont Stakes Sovereignty. So I was a little bit worried.
Yeah, but you have to admit, the 2.25 mile races were his best races of the year.
Yeah.
So you could probably compete with him a little better at 1.8 miles with some speed compared to his long stride, just pulling horses away from him. I think the 1.25 miles, I don't think they can get near him. That's my take.
You want to hear my take?
What do you got?
It's just honestly what I believe. So after I watched the race, I was a little bit worried about him moving forward into the Midsummer Derby and beyond. I was like, you know what? I got to go watch that back. So I watched it. Then I watched it back again. Because if you go back right now, pause this, go take a peek at the Jim Dandy, you'll see on the back stretch, it almost appears like Sovereignty sinks back a little bit into the pack, when in actuality, there's 2-3 horses that make a nice middle move, and he sort of just maintains his bid right where he is. You know what actually happened on Saturday? I was wrong. My knee-jerk reaction was wrong. It was that Sovereignty did not have to run his best race to win. If you go back and look over the course of the entire race, I think Junior shows Sovereignty the whip maybe once. Long story short, I don't think that he was cranked up to run his best race, and I don't think he had to. I don't think he tried all that hard to beat that field.
Would you remember the final time? Would they go?
No, but I can get it for you.
Yeah, I think we should know the final time, because I mean,
149 and a little under and 0.52. Right,
so it was an average time,
yeah,
and whatnot. I mean, he was a touch erratic in the race. He was inside, then he went out, but I tell you what, I never thought he was out of the race, so to speak. Though. You know what I mean?
No.
And I still say, think about it. He got beat in the Florida Derby going 1.8 miles. He just got up in another race at 1.8 miles. I still say the 2.25 miles is where we saw this long striding horse pull away from animals. And I think he will do it again. I think he will do it again. And what if he doesn't meet? What if neither Baeza or journalism comes back to compete with him? maybe 1-5. Who
He
could
will.
run? Who's going to run?
It's a good question. I don't know if there's anyone that steps up outside of the 3-year-olds that we've seen, and he's already beaten to just like step up and take him down.
I got one horse.
Who?
Magnitude. Now, Magnitude is the Asmussen horse who won by like 11 lengths at Fairgrounds and then won by another large margin. Pure speed horse. He got hurt. They laid him off. He came back. One of my friends told me that he came back running pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a horse like that could be better than we think. Maybe he's a freak.
So just so we're on the same page, you're referencing the Magnitude that just came back and won a race at Prairie Meadows. We talking about the same thing?
How many lengths did he win by?
Doesn't say here. It just says that he won the Iowa Derby at Prairie Meadows. His horse is going to come back and beat Sovereignty.
Well, what was the time? Anything special?
142 and 1.
That's a nice time.
Yeah.
That's nice. Who was in the race?
Looks like he beat It's My Birthday and Mr. Omaha. I just see the top 2 finishers here.
He didn't beat much.
He didn't beat much.
Well, it's the same thing we said with Moplex. We thought Moplex would probably get the lead and that maybe he can go a little further, but they overtook him quick. When you get a horse this good, who can now show some tactical speed, but at least it throws a little something into it if you have a speed horse who can run away for a little while. I don't say that he could beat him, but I mean just to give a little something to the race,
He adds a little bit of spice into the race, but I don't know if it's a high level of spice. But still fun.
Who do you want back in the race? Do you want Baez and journalism back in the race?
Yes, I do. And I think you will see them in the race because McCarthy decided to bring him here to the East Coast again, as opposed to keeping him over on the West Coast. He brings him here, and we just saw the champion over the weekend, Nisos, dominate in his race. So it's hard for me to envision a world where he goes, let me go Pacific Coast Classic because that race seems easier. I just don't think I think they're both, it's pick your poison.
I don't think it will be easier because Nisos has lost one race in his life, and that was to mind frame by a neck off of a long layoff. So Nisos is a high quality horse.
Yeah.
I see that as a puzzle for Mike McCarthy because he might see, but you know what? I don't know. No, it's a tough call. And then I tell you what I found out about Baeza. John Sheriff said he may run him in the shared belief stakes at it's a smaller purse. I'd probably grade 2, but maybe he figured he fits there. Why not win a nice purse? Get this horse some black type. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like why keep fighting these real tough horses? Because he ran a good race.
Yeah, he did. Okay, let's say you are Billy Mott and you are putting Sovereignty into the race, and we get the field that we think, or the field that we hope for, which is Baeza, journalism. We have Magnitude hops in. Probably a few others slide in there as well. What kind of race are you? Let's pretend you're Billy Mott. How are you wanting Sovereignty to perform that day? What kind of race you want him to run?
I would just get him into a steady rhythm within, say Magnitude goes to the front, within 5-6 lengths of the lead. Get him into a steady rhythm. Don't be moving all around the track. Mm-hmm. Take your time, get to the turn, move outside, and mow him down. That's where I go.
Okay.
That's where I would go. I would keep it as a simple formula. Chances are we're not going to see a big.
Yeah, it's true.
Who wants,
I mean, it is $1.25 million.
Yeah. Well, they haven't put together anything yet, right? Too early.
In terms of probables and stuff for the race? Yeah, I think it's too soon.
Yeah, it's a little bit too soon. But you know what? Maybe it would seem more likely that we would see journalism than Baeza.
Yeah.
Even though Baeza ran a great race. I mean, like I said, if I owned Baeza, why wouldn't I want to win that San Diego or whatever handicap?
Shared
belief handicap.
Yep.
And
It would
I
make
don't
sense.
know. I think with journalism, I'm just not sure. Like you said, it it's a tough race on both coasts. And you got to do
Yeah.
one or the other. But what if you don't feel like your horse is really improving? What if you just think you got the same horse? You know,
If
because
you
like
have the exact same horse and I train the horse, I'm taking him back to the West Coast, taking him back home, getting him comfortable and taking a stab at Nisos. We've already taken 2 stabs at Sovereignty. We've been beaten
I agree with
handily.
you.
I'm taking a
Yeah,
chance over there.
I would agree with you because I mean, um, it's tricky. It could be a great race, journalism against Nisos.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be really good race. Now, some of these 3-year-olds get better through the year too. If he matures and gets stronger, who knows? And then you have him over the track, and he's prepared for the
For
big
the
race.
yeah, for the Breeders' Cup. I think that's the play. I if they don't do that, and there's part of me that thinks that they won't. There's a part of me that thinks that they just stay here on the East Coast. My opinion of how journalism needs to run his next race. So here's the thing. He's ran 2 times against Sovereignty, and both times he's tried a similar tactic of his usual forwardly placed pounce, run away. It hasn't worked. Whether that's just because Sovereignty is a better animal, it's possible. But that has not worked. So I think you have to go back to the drawing board. I think Rispoli has to be more patient. I think that they have to allow Sovereignty to make the first move and risk him running away and give
I'll tell you
journalism a
what,
horse to point.
that's a little bit interesting because we've seen him run horses down
Mm-hmm.
in the Preakness and in the Haskell. And maybe Sovereignty getting on the lead, maybe he starts loafing on the lead or something. Maybe because he's running past journalism, he's running bigger. Probably hard to prepare a horse like that for that event,
Yeah.
but I see your point, and it's not a bad point.
I feel like if you're going to run it, you have to at least try something else.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to.
they tried to run away from him. Yeah, I agree with you. I would, maybe that's it's kind of.
It's kind of fun. I
I
mean,
wouldn't run neck and neck with him either.
I
I would
wouldn't
say,
either.
you're probably better off if you like just staying behind him and see how he reacts. It's an interesting proposition. I don't know. That's a tricky.
It is. It's a little bit of a gamble, but again, I think the horse, as it pertains to the Travers, I think that journalism is far and away the best horse. Otherwise, some people think Baeza's entered into journalism range. Personally, I don't think so. But I think that journalism, even taking that risk, I don't think he puts himself in a position where he might not even get second. Like I still think he runs a decent race and can beat Baeza even if it doesn't work. And I think it gives you an interesting chance to let Sovereignty get the lead, maybe let him fall asleep a little bit the last 100 yards. Maybe you nail him. Like look, he almost fell coming around the turn in the Preakness Stakes. He sees Gosker digging in still, and he goes up. Oh God, I'm gonna go catch Gosker now.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It'd be worth a look.
or like you were talking about with magnitude, or are these just different quality horses? Is Sovereignty just a better racehorse?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. Look, Secretariat kept on beating up on Sham. Sham could have probably won the Triple Crown if Secretariat wasn't there that year.
Yeah,
So what do we remember about Sham? We remember him being second rate, and he never ran after he got his ass kicked in the
in the
Belmont.
Belmont.
So, McCarthy's got himself a good horse. He doesn't, he's run a couple of years. There's going to be some big races for older horses throughout the country. It's not
Definitely.
like you have to run against Sovereignty every time.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, and I think we saw journalism run a little better at the mile and an eighth. So races going forward where he can find that distance, I think will play into his favor
Yeah,
a little
probably
stronger.
so. Probably so. Yeah, probably. But I mean, I wonder what I got for the exact. I had a $20 cover with Baeza over
I can tell you.
Sovereignty. You think it would have paid $20? I would have got 200 back
In the
in
in
that one.
yeah, probably so.
That sounds about
I think
right.
that sounds right. I think that sounds right.
At one point, remember, I was yelling, "Beat him!"
I know. It looked like that was possible,
He did.
but then again, I'm telling you, and I don't know how many times you've gone back and watched it, but I went back and watched it, and if you watch it 2, 3 times, I'm telling you, Junior is barely phased. He never looks panicked.
Yeah, right.
The horse just kind of cruises by, and then he's completely wrapped at the wire. He's just wrapped. It's over. So I just don't think he tried all that hard.
I think this is a champion. Hey, you know what I'm hoping, Josh?
Yeah,
I'm hoping that this horse is not retired after he say wins the the Breeders' Cup. That we see this horse. I used to see this horse for a couple of years, and he could put on some real good shows at some of these classic events. You know,
definitely.
I mean, I don't know if I'd want him on a speed track like maybe Gulfstream going a mile and eighth. He could maybe get beat at a place like that going a mile and eighth.
Yeah,
But
he has before.
but there are plenty. There's going to be some distance races,
Yeah, true.
But
True. Well, that was the Jim Dandy this past weekend.
Jim
An
Dandy.
awesome rendition. We've seen some great horses. It's one of those years that I just feel like there are some marquee horses running every weekend to create some nice buzz and see some future champions that are currently active in the game. Like I felt like this time last year, you had a little bit of the mind frame door knock thing going on back and forth, but pure like, oh, these are like potential Hall of Famers. I get that. I get that feeling this year with a handful of horses.
It's certainly possible. It's certainly possible, but none more than Sovereignty.
Right.
None
Right.
more. None.
Yeah.
I mean, he's. I think he.
You think he's far and away the best?
Just looks like just so big.
Yeah, he's like a locomotive. He's like a train. Like once he gets to reaching his top speed, it's tough. It's tough. So I don't know. But listen, that's the Jim Dandy.
Jim Dandy.
We're gonna takes in the books. Sovereignty seems to be the king right now. Will he carry his momentum into the Travers? Will he run in the Travers? And ultimately, where does he go at the end of the year, Breeders'?